All right, everybody, we're about to get started for the morning. We'll kind of go through the whole spiel for the morning. Should be a pretty good day today, finally after the holidays. Should get some nice volume back into the markets today, so I'm pretty stoked about that. I'm going to be sizing a little bit smaller than usual today just because I'm going to slowly get back into the swing of things. It was a long weekend, had about 4 days where we took off there, and so I want to just kind of slowly get back into the swing of things. A little bit smaller size today. I think that overall things aren't going to be quite up to par today with what I'm, wanting to see the rest of the week. It is Monday after a long weekend. Those people are kind of getting back, like I said, into the swing of things. So as we do head into tomorrow, we can start to size back up where we want to be. But for right now, today, I'm going to be trading with a little bit smaller size. So do keep that in mind. I don't think today is going to be quite as active as the rest of the week, but either way, there should be some nice opportunity for today. Either way. So should definitely be a nice day today. I'm expecting a pretty good one. And so we'll have to see how it goes. And, just be picky today as always. Be prepared. And you just go into today and just crush it. So, that's kind of the game plan for today. A little bit smaller size. A little bit more of a risk-off approach. But either way, still pretty stoked about the day, ahead here. So should be a good one. We will go through the scan in just a minute. And I will have to repeat that once more people join. I wish people would join at 9 o'clock so we wouldn't have to repeat it. But yeah, I'm going to be trading smaller size today. So keep that in mind. Until we do get volume back to where I want it to be, an opportunity back to where I want it to be, follow through. Maybe a little bit hard to come by. But we'll see. We can't predict. All we can do is see what the day brings us. And if it gives us a nice day today, then we'll have kind of our sights in place for the rest of the week. All right, let me first pull up the nightly list real quick. Give me a second here. All right, let's go over the nightly watch list first and see what we got. Let me get my screen up as well. And if you guys do have any audio issues at any time today, just let me know in the chat so I can figure it out. Worst case, we move back to Zoom. Best case, we get to stay here on Discord. I'd love to stay on Discord. Zoom just kind of adds an extra piece to the puzzle, and I don't love that. So let's do our best to keep it here. But if you guys do have issues, then we'll make it happen. All right, nightly watch list. Let's get it pulled up here. We had quite a few things on the watch list last night, which is a good sign for the day. Let's go ahead and pull them up here and see what we had. First on the list is ANVS. Let me get this music turned down. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it was way too loud. Okay. So first on the list is ANVS. I want to be watching this one for pullbacks into the open today. Right now we are a little bit high. I don't like it here. It did pull back into my little zone for entry earlier in pre-market off super, super low volume at like 4 a.m. So it would have been impossible to snag an entry there. But I do want to be watching this for an entry later in the morning if we can get another flush down under 1030. I don't know if we're going to get that. We already had a nice little reversal back up into the 11s here this morning, but I do want to watch it out of the bell. I either like it under 1030 or I like it above 1250. I don't like it anywhere in between. You're in kind of no man's land here, and for that reason, I don't like it there. But I don't mind ANVS if we can catch it either under 1030 off of 950 or over 1250 over the previous day's high. So not a bad look on ANVS. Again, you just got to wait for it to come to you. I like it a lot more off the flush than I do on the breakout, but either way, it's a nice opportunity. So I do want to watch it off the dips at the open today. Definitely one of my top watches there on ANVS. We did really, really well on it on, I believe it was Wednesday. We didn't trade it Friday, of course. I was out of the market on Friday for the holidays, but definitely keep that on your sights going into the open. CORZ we've got to watch today over its all-time highs. This thing has been on a rampage the last few months over its highs after its IPO. And it actually tested its all-time highs this morning already. It tested 1070 and now seeing downside back to 1024. So I'm going to be watching this one this morning. If we can get up back through pre-market highs, this is a really, really nice look over that 1070s 5. And so that's going to be my watch here on CORZ over its all-time highs. We're going to keep an eye on this over 1075 for the range to psych levels to the upside. So you're looking for 1150 and 12 and so on. So this is also a pretty nice look. It trades okay. I really want to see volume over the highs, though. I want to see it base over the highs, and for that reason, it might not be ready today. It might be more so a Tuesday, Wednesday, or a Thursday setup, depending on how long it does take to get that confirmation. And then we can kind of, go from there. But I don't know if it's going to be from today, so I wouldn't bet on it. Next up, we've got cost to watch today, which is already pulling back a good bit here in pre-market, which is perfect for us because I want to watch it off big old dips today off of the 200-day moving average on the 15-minute time frame. So I'm watching this one today off of $10 out of the open for a nice little pop back up into the mid-11s, maybe up into the 12s. And that'll be off of 10, off of its 200 moving average there on the 15-minute time frame. So again, looking for a quick flush at the open to get that reversal back up into the 11s and 12s. This is on cost, the one that was crazy last week, the big old meme stock, and this is really one to keep an eye on out of the bell today. For risk to reward purposes on this stock here on cost, I would need an entry. Let me figure that out for you real quick so you can have an idea of what to be looking for on the flush. I'm not expecting to get much higher than maybe, 12, I would say 1250. Which means your entry would have to be somewhere below 1070 to have 3-to-1 risk to reward. And that's even on the high end. So look for something below 1070 out of the bell for that range back to about 1250 and 1260. That's going to be what I'm looking for here. So cost, we're looking for entry below also 1075. Risk here is going to be off of 10 as well. So watch this one closely out of the bell, but do not take a premature entry because of FOMO. If I don't get the pullback that I'm looking for at the bell, I'm going to be leaving it alone, but I'm looking for some scalps on this today off of pullbacks. That is a nice look. Yes, it is backside. No, I'm not looking for new highs. Not looking for new highs on it. Next, we have IREN from the nightly watch list, which is already showing some strength here in pre-market. And we're watching this one today simply over the daily highs. So we're watching IREN today. If we can find buyers over the 52-week highs at 1497, which we already did this morning, and it actually already hit targets. So that kind of sucks because our targets here are 1570, and it already hit 1570 this morning. That being said, it's still not a bad look. Depending on if it finds sellers or not after the bell, I feel like you can still probably play this today, except I would need to see it hold over 1515 instead. So rather than looking at a 1497 risk, I'd be looking more so like a 1510 risk. And so that'll be on IREN rather than looking at the breakouts, looking at the pullbacks at the bell on IREN off of 1510. So IREN watching it over 1510 today. Depending on how it does trade out of the open, it's a good look as well. Again, a little bit different from the watch list, but still a nice look regardless. You got Meta from Friday as well. Meta had a big day Friday with the broader market and showing buyers again in pre-market this morning. I wanted to watch it for dips over 532 today. I think that's still going to give a nice opportunity to be watching it off the pullbacks today as well. If it does form some bottom there over 530s, then we can take a look at that for an entry. But I want to wait for buyers first this morning, and I'm not playing it over 540s, obviously. So no entry over 540s. You've only got range here to the Psych 550 overhead. So look for pullbacks on Meta today. Personally, I'm watching that off 532. Whatever you were watching that off of, be my guest. But that is how I like Meta today over 532. So we'll take a look and see where that ends up setting up for us on Meta. And then we've also got BENF this morning, which we're not going to be watching because we wanted to watch this hold over 425 actually. And it's already broke well below 425 here this morning. It's actually already back into the threes. So we're not going to be watching BENF. So what we've got into the bell today, as of right now, without looking at the pre-market gappers, is ANVS, CORZ, KOSS, IREN, and Meta. So we've got a fairly helpful and decent list here so far. You've also got our play from the morning on ZAPP heading back to the upside as well. If you are playing that, you're getting a nice move back over VWAP. And that thing barely held off our risk this morning. I mean, I thought it was going to stop us out and barely held off our risk. Tested 651 and 650, and sure enough, double bottom, and now we're curling back up towards, 710, 720. So definitely be keeping an eye on that as well going into the open on ZAPP, and that is a pretty good look. Let's see what else we've got, though, gap-wise. We've got IVP to look at today, which I don't love a whole lot because of the lack of range to the upside. You've really only got 375, and you already tested that this morning at 375, so there's not much incentive to new highs there. But you do have SVMH, which is not a horrible look. SVMH to watch out of the open today if we can hold. I would want to see it hold over, really, 30 cents. Let me take a look here real quick. It's not very liquid in pre-market, which is kind of my only kicker. You can definitely watch it off VWAP out of the open on SVMH, and you've got the range here back up into really pre-market highs. If you get over that, you've got the range back up into the 40s. So you've got 40, and then you've got 45. So we might have something to watch on SVMH this morning off of VWAP off 30 cents. For right now, I'm going to put it on the list, but it's more of a to be determined setup for me right now. That might change. SVMH off of VWAP, 30 cents. For the range back to 40 and 45. All right, we've got SVMH to watch. MORF, don't like. Was this a buyout? Acquisition? What is this? Don't know, don't care. Either way, not playing it. Zap still testing 708. Nice move back to the upside there as it reclaims VWAP into the bell. What a nice look as well. That daily was so primed on Zap as well. I knew it was a matter of time. And finally, it's trying to go. Took it long enough. I think that trade was like, what, 2 hours just about? Almost, maybe an hour and a half. So crazy. Crazy length on the trade. CERO, not a fan of. I'm trying to keep my penny stocks back to a minimum as well. Anything below $1 I'm not too fond of right now. I know for the, May and some of June we traded some penny stocks because they were so active. But once we get back to like the normal cycle of things, I don't like trading penny stocks quite as much. They're not quite as predictable. And I just don't like them as much. So trying to stick back to the names in that sweet like $3 to $20 price range is really what I'm looking for. There's new highs on ZAPP again as it does try to crawl higher. CRKN, not a fan. A lot of these names I just don't like. Thankfully, we had a pretty lengthy list on the nightly watch list, which helps quite a bit. Let's see here. I know we had Lucid with a little gap this morning as well, but Lucid, typically, I don't like how it trades. I typically do not like how it trades. They had delivery numbers out this morning. How's volume this morning on it? Yeah, it's not great. That's what I mean. I just don't love how Lucid trades. Anytime it makes a move in pre-market, it never trades well after the open. Very rarely will it. Very rarely. NNE, I was going to watch today, but I'm a little bit reluctant because of these past highs back here. I don't know that I love it here. The daily is a really nice look. You've got a really nice little flag forming here on the daily, but I don't know. The only way to really watch it is over 29.50. That's really the only way that I can see to watch NNE today. And I suppose it's not a bad look. It's just a matter of volume. Of course, right now volume is rather light going into the bell, but let's watch it. Let's watch it today over 29. I'll say 29.10. Let's take a look at NNE today on its little daily flag breakout. Maybe you get a nice move. We'll see. Depending on the open, we'll make a decision. NNE off of 29.10 for its daily breakout. Let's see. Siri, not a fan. SMR, not a fan. A lot of these, no bueno. But we already have a pretty lengthy list. We've already got about 1, 2, 3, about 7 setups here so far. New highs on ZAPP again. If you guys are still playing that, you should be green on it. You should be green on it. So make sure to manage risk. Take a little bit of profits. Let it go. But that ZAPP is finally making a move. Like I said, it took almost 2 hours. It took almost 2 hours. I cannot stand the pre-market trades like that because I get close to 9 o'clock and I'm like, well, crap. I got to go through my setups for the morning and I can't try to manage a trade and go through my setups at the same time. So it's just, it is so frustrating. But either way, finally making a move there. Let's see what else we've got. Not much. Not much at all that I love. And we'll go through these in a minute and Get all these charts pulled up for the open. We've got about 12 minutes. There's new highs again on ZAPP back to 735. All right, let me get these charts pulled up. Let me also make sure that you guys have sound. Let me know real quick if y'all have sound, y'all. I know last week we had some issues with sound, so if you could real quick, just let me know. You all have sound? Good. All right. Good stuff. All right. So let's go ahead and get all of our charts pulled up. We've got roughly 12 minutes. So for the next few minutes, just go ahead and go through the list here. We've got ANVS, CORZ, KOSS, IREN, Meta, SVMH, and NNE to watch today. Those are going to be my top watches at this moment. Unless something changes after the bell, then we will make that known too. But as of right now, these are my watches. We've got a pretty nice watch list for the day. For a Monday, not too bad. But like I said, for those of you that are just now joining, I'm going to be trading a little bit smaller size today because of the holiday weekend. Things are going to slowly just kind of ease back in. Volume is also going to slowly ease back in. You're not going to come in today and have some massive day after a long, slow week last week. So just take it easy today. Be picky, be prepared, manage risk well, and just size down just a little bit today. Don't go full size. Don't go balls to the wall today. It's not going to be the day for that. Tomorrow, maybe, depending on how today goes. All right, let's see. We got SVMH and NNE. I think I've got all of mine pulled up and ready to rock. Make sure you do the same so that you're ready for the open. And those of you that joined over the weekend as well, make sure that you're not trying to follow along today. Make sure that your goal today is to go through all of the Start Here channels, the channel called Read Before Starting, the channel called Classroom, and all of those channels like Broker Setup. All of those channels are going to be important before you try to get started with us, because if you don't go through those first, you're not going to have any idea how to follow along. You're not going to know how to execute. You're not going to know how to manage risk. You're going to be like, Kev, how are you going so fast? Well, if you go through Broker Setup, you'll know how I'm going so fast. So make sure you go through all of these things before trying to trade with us. If you don't, and you try to take a shortcut, it's not going to go well. So make sure that you're prepared before you try to hop right in. And apart from that too, just make sure to take it slow, take it easy. If you just now join, don't try to fast forward your progress. Otherwise, you'll probably just overwhelm yourself. And as far as catching up and keeping up with the live, whenever I mention a stock, pull up the chart. That's really all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Otherwise, you're going to wait until I'm trading the stock to pull the chart up. And then at that point, you're going to miss the move. You're going to miss whatever I'm doing. And I want you to be able to follow along in the sense that, you can watch and learn and kind of see what we're doing in here. But aside from that, good luck. It should be a good day today. Did we go over IVP? I don't think I liked IVP. I think it was a range issue. Yeah, it was a range issue. New highs on SPY this morning. All-time highs. Crazy stuff. Let me look at IVP one more time. Then I'll kind of make a decision based on that there. I do like Zap out at the bell as well, so keep that in mind. Zap looks really, really good. For a possible second trade later, depending on how this first one goes. But I do want to watch this later as well. Zap had some pretty significant range. It was basing well over that daily high at 650, and it's actually got range all the way to 10. It's actually got range all the way to 10 on the ZAPP. So definitely one for us to be watching out of the bell today. Are we going to get a move to 10? No. No, that's not what that means. It doesn't mean we're going to get a move to 10, but I still do want to watch it regardless. It means you have incentive to 10, so you might get a move, up into the 8s and maybe 9s. And so for that reason, we have a reason to look at it out of the open today. And again, that is on ZAPP. So make sure you've got all of these charts pulled up. Right now on your screens, you shouldn't have 9 pulled up at the same time if you don't have a large monitor. I don't want you to be squinting trying to view these things. But make sure you've at least gone through all of these charts on my board and just marked up your level so that whenever you do pull this chart up later, it'll just be ready to go. So we've got about 8 minutes. If you guys have any questions before they open, let me know. Otherwise, we're going to be sitting back waiting. But these are my setups I'm watching into the open today. Nothing else. Nothing more. Nothing more than these. That is it. Anything more, you start to watch a little bit too much, you get sloppy, you get distracted. So I would say do not watch more than you can handle. Don't just watch one thing because you'll get the blinders and you'll just start to become hyper-focused on the one stock, and that's not a good thing either. You get a bias on that one stock. So I know a lot of people say, well, I just want to focus on one stock. Well, don't do that because you form a bias. You get so hyper-fixated on the one stock. But make sure it's at least within a realm of something that you can handle. Don't try to watch, 15 stocks. So keep it reasonable, keep it logical. All right, those on TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and shut down those streams now to get ready for the open. We have about 5 minutes until the bell. And starting the day green with ZAPP, thankfully, so far. So make sure to claim your 7-day free trial to watch me trade live the rest of the morning and every single day. And good luck, and I'll see you guys later. Peace, guys.